Hello, 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 everyone. Let me turn my camera around so you can see me. Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's impromptu live call. So I decided to come and do this impromptu call because last night's call got interrupted by unforeseeable circumstances. I apologize again, but I was looking forward to last night. I was so excited. I was pumped. I had my questions ready to go. I had everything ready to jump on the conversation, to go through the questions and answers, and to have a wonderful time. But Facebook would not allow me to log on because some reason my account was being maintained. They said there was maintenance going on I wasn't aware of. But nonetheless, I'm glad I was able to make it up to you today. So that's why I decided to come on Thursday night, because normally Wednesday nights are the nights that I do these calls. But because of that, I wasn't able to go. I tried for half an hour, tried to log in, tried to reset my password, tried to use my phone, my tablet, my computer. Nothing would allow me to go on until I eventually realized, you know what? I had no control over it. Hi, welcome to the conversation. Welcome, Sanette. It's good to see you. Let me put on my glasses, because tonight we're going to be going through some questions and answers. Yeah, here are my spectacles. I need it sometimes to see, especially if I'm going to read. I mostly use it when I'm working at my computer, but I realize the more I use it when I'm working on my computer, the more I need it. Really, I'm trying not to, but hey, what can I say or do? So for tonight, we have a question and answer session set up. But before I get into the question and answer session, I want to do a little bit of teaching, because my goal is to always share something new, share something that I've learned, something that can help you as well as helping me, something that I'm really going through, dealing with, handling, and something that I know you can find valuable as well for your life. And even if you cannot use it or don't need it, you know somebody who may. So hence, I want to do a little bit of teaching. So probably like 10 minutes tops, no more than that. And then we're going to jump into the question and answers. What I wanted to talk to you about is something that is very common among us, among people. And it's dealing with pain. When it comes to dealing with pain, we all experience it at some point or the other. At some level, we all go through pain. Whether it's the pain of losing a loved one, whether it's the pain of being sick, whether it's the pain of financially, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, whether it's the pain of a broken home, broken marriage, pain of a child, or any type of pain. We all go through pain. And life comes with pain. If you're going to live as long as you possibly can, you're going to deal with pain. There's no way to go around it. There's no way to escape it. You just have to learn the tools and techniques to help you deal with it and move on quicker. Because if we tend to wallow in pain or stay too long in the pain, we will get depressed. Some people will get depressed. I mean, we all will get depressed actually, but some people would use drugs. Some people try to find things to numb it, and we don't ever want it to get to that place. So it's best to have a strategy off the bat that can help you to deal with pain so you can move on from it much sooner. So why is pain common to humans? Why do we experience pain? And for a long time, I didn't understand why. And one of the things that I would always say to myself, and I would say, even when I'm praying, I say, God, why, we all say, why me? I don't know if we all say it, but I used to say, why me a whole lot. I used to say, why me? Why not somebody else? In my mind, I was saying, why not somebody else? If somebody would ask me the question, if I'd wish this on somebody else, I probably would have said no. But in my mind, I'm like, I really wish it on somebody else. Didn't know who, but not me. And I used to ask, why me all the time? And when I would ask why me, I didn't get an answer, really. There was no answer coming back to say, because it's just one of those questions. And my coach says, asking why me is such a powerless question, because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in the seat of a victim, and you're not taking responsibility for whatever is happening. so you can move on. Because one of the things that we tend to do is to pass responsibility on to something or someone else, not knowing that when we do that, we are what's the word? We are disempowering ourselves. We are taking away our power, stripping it from our ability to do something about the situation to somebody else's ability to do it. And we cannot control anybody but us. So really, that's not a good thing to do. And after going through the Why Me series of questions, until I realized, you know what? Why not me? Everything happens for a reason. I believe all things work together for my good. Everything that happens is for a reason. It took me a while to really accept that, but once I did, I realized that pain is necessary. We all go through it because pain is one of the things that God uses to grow us, uses to mature us, uses to cause us to, to flourish. If you're not growing, you're dying. Everything in this earth is growing. Growth is not automatic. It is intentional. Something has to be done intentionally, or something has to happen to you for you to grow. You're not just going to sit there and grow. You're going to get older, you're going to age, you're going to change, but you're not going to grow. It's a difference when you grow and when you're just changing. Change is, everyday thing. You change. You don't have to think about changing. But to grow is when you're able to use the experiences you've had, to learn from them, to get understanding and to get wisdom so you can know how to live your life. That's growth. So in order for you to grow into the individual that you are supposed to be, you have to go through pain, because pain is that one thing that perfects you. Pain is that one thing that brings things up that's in you that you didn't even know is there, that needs to be dealt with. If you never go through pain, you do not know what you're made of in terms of strength. Welcome to the conversation, Sasha. It's good to have you. If you never go through anything difficult, if you never experience pain in your life, you never know what you are capable of doing. Never. If you never experience pain, you never know where you're supposed to go, because pain is one of those things that will open doors for you, because what you're doing after going through a difficult situation or challenge, now you become more aware of certain things. You learn from it. You look at what you've been through, and if you are wise, you look at the things that you're supposed to learn and you apply them. You take it and you apply it. And with that growth and with that newfound awareness, you're able to go to your next level. Without that pain, you can't get from a seed to a flower. Without the pain, you can't grow from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Without the pain, you can't grow from your old self to your new self, to that new creature, to that greatness, to that person that you were always destined to be. You cannot go through that without pain. So, I was going to say it's sad to say, but it's not a sad thing. It's a great thing. We just have to learn how to deal with pain. So one of the ways to deal with pain is, most people, when they go through something and they're experiencing pain, they tend to go into self-pity. That's the first thing that want to come up. We want to pity ourselves, feel sorry for ourselves. Welcome to the conversation, Orden. It's good to have you. I haven't seen you in a while. Hi. Thank you for joining. So one of the tools or strategies or things that I use to deal with pain is, the first thing. You have to realize that self-pity will not solve anything. Putting yourself in the shoes of a victim will not solve anything. Me sitting down and say, oh, poor me, why me, oh my God. You are not going to fix it. You have to first take responsibility. Now, some of the things that happen to us is not anything that we have to do, or it is out of our control because we didn't do it, or it was done to us. We did not bring it on. Something just happened and we have no control over it. Yes. However, we have control over how we handle it. That's what I mean by taking responsibility. When whatever happens, and now you're experiencing pain, you have a choice to make. You can choose now whether you're going to learn from it, grow from it, or cause it to cripple you, or cause it to kill you. It's up to you. So one of the things I do is I first try to not... Welcome to the conversation, Marvin. It's good to see you. One of the things that I do when I'm experiencing pain is, after I feel the instant hurt, or once I feel the hurt, I try. That try is a defeative word. I'm not trying. I do not allow myself to stay in that place too long. I realize that if I allow myself to stay here too long, eventually I'm going to get into depression. I'm going to get sad. So what I do is I feel the pain, then I look at it. Okay, all right, this happened. What is the reason for this happening? Because everything happens for a reason. Whether it's good or bad, it's all for a reason. Why did this happen? And I try to look at it from different perspective. Okay, this happened to me because what? And I try to take myself out of the center and try to look at it from a retrospective view. And I try to see what can I gain, what can I glean from it. And everything I do, I make notes. I keep logs all the time. I keep journals. So I write down. So I have tons and tons of things that I've developed and formulated and plans and things in place. So I do that. That's a way to help me to deal with things, and I write it down. Once I'm able to identify, or I'm able to see where I'm at and what can I do about it, then I instantly try to say, okay, this happened and I'm going to learn. How am I going to apply what I learned? And I said, okay, I didn't know this before. Now I know this. There was something in me that needed to be dealt with. What was that thing? Was it anger? Was it unforgiveness? Was it bitterness? Was it pride? Was it selfishness? What is in me that is allowing me now to be prone to this? And I deal with me. I deal with me. I do self-check. I do me internalized check. I look at me and I see what is there that does not need to be there, what needs to go, what can I change about myself, because I cannot change the situation already happened. I cannot change the person who may have done it. I can only change me. All right, so the first step, be aware. Don't sit there, acknowledge it happened, take responsibility for what you're going to do to get out of it. Second thing that I do is I stop looking at what I'm losing, because most of the times when we feel so much hurt, we tend to focus on, welcome to the conversation, Marvin, it's good to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about dealing with pain. Then we're going to go into a question and answer session. I have some questions prepared. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat box and we can address it. So before I get into the question and answer, I'm talking about dealing with pain and why is pain common to us and how we can deal with it and handle it quicker and faster so we can move on with our lives. So people tend to feel great hurt or massive hurt because we're focusing on what we're losing. We're focusing so much on what we're losing. So every time you focus on a loss, something that you've lost, it makes it seem as if you're stuck. When you focus on the loss, you look at it because you're attaching some type of loss to it. And because you're attaching it, there's an emotional connection now to that loss. So it's hard for you to let go. And so we hold on to that hurt longer and we hold on to that pain longer and we stay in that position. Now, for me personally, when I was going through a difficult time in my marriage, and a lot of people don't know this, but I was separated. And when that happened to me, I went into depression. I did. It was hard for me to accept. And it was hard for me to deal with because I was looking at what I was losing. You know, I didn't want to be, and most of it was based on my story. What did I tell myself that I was so attached to that I couldn't change or didn't want to change? And after I got out of my depression, and you're going to know about it sooner or later because the book is going to come out, you're going to know all about it. But I just want to touch on that. When I realized that I had a decision to make, I had a choice, it was up to me whether or not I stay here and die or I move on or I live. It was up to me. When I realized that I was more attached to not so much of the relationship, but what it represented. And what it represented for me was, it represented, what's the word? Not so much, saving face, but it's the shame that came with it. I didn't want to be a statistic. And that's what I found myself being. There's a statistic that says 50% of marriages end in divorce. I did not want to be among that 50%. So because of that story, I told myself that I couldn't be a part of that. I didn't want to be a part of that. I held on and I couldn't let go. Another story that I told myself that I was so emotionally attached to was I didn't want to be a single mother. That too is a statistic, being a single parent. I didn't want to fall into any of those two brackets. So because of that, for that reason, I went into depression and I struggled with letting go. When I say I struggled, I really did. And it got to a place where I was even contemplating whether or not I wanted to live or die. And it went that bad. And when I realized that, listen, wait a minute, who told me that this had to be my story? Like, who told me that I couldn't survive or live, or who told me that I was going to, like, I had to realize and wake myself up and say, hey, Dorica, why do you think this is new? Or why do you think this is unique to you? Because when we're going through our issues, we feel it's unique to us. We fail to realize there are 1,000,001 people out there that experience some of the same things we go through all the time. And they live. So why did I feel like I couldn't live? Why was I so caught up on the whole facade or the whole story? It's because of what people would say. What would people say? Oh my God. What would people say? The shame. And I dealt with that. So I'm here to let you know, whatever story you're telling yourself that is causing you to stay in pain longer than you should, you can change that story. It is not permanent. You created that in your head in the first place. At some point or the other, you told yourself that story. Nobody told you that story. You didn't get it from anybody but you. Welcome to the conversation. Uncle Joe, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining. Wow, it's good to have you on my call. It's the first. Give a big wave and shout out. So my Uncle Joe, Maxwell Waldron, is on the call. So whatever story we tell ourselves that keeps us locked up, that keeps us bound, is something that we can change. Nobody's story is permanent. I was listening to Tony Robbins today, and he was saying there was a particular, a lady who, he was on a talk show and she called in, and she was just in need of help. And she was saying, I need your help. I've been in depression for 7 years, and I'm sad, and I'm taking depression pills, and I just can't be happy. And he was asking her, as a matter of fact, he didn't ask, he asked her why. And she said because her boyfriend left her 7 years ago. I'm like, 7 years ago? And she's still in depression. And he was saying, oh, really? Good, congratulations, being sarcastic. And she was like, what? He was like, yeah, great, good. How did you manage to achieve that? Good job. And she was like, what are you talking about? He's like, and then he was like, listen, I want you to stop right now. And I want you to go outside. And every time you think about your boyfriend, I want you to say, next, shout, next, keep saying next. And she started to crack up on the phone and she was laughing. But he went on to say, it's because of her story that she held on to for so many years that got her to the place where she was at. She did drugs and she was just out of it. So whatever stories we may have told ourselves, we can change that. We don't have to be this person if we don't want to be. When I realized that I was the one creating my own story about me and my being a single parent and being divorced and, struggling and all those things that I told myself, it wasn't real. None of it wasn't real. And how did I know it wasn't real? Because I went through it and I lived to tell the tale. I went through it and I overcame it. And I'm stronger as an individual because of it. Because of it. Not even though, because of it. If I didn't go through that experience, I wouldn't have known what I was made of. What I'm able to overcome. What I am able to accomplish because of it. So I'm here to let you know. Pain is something that is necessary for us as humans. Pain is something that is there to help us to grow, to help us to flourish, to help us to become the best version of ourselves. Do not let pain cause you to be stagnant. Do not let pain cause you to be stuck. Do not let pain cripple you. It hurts, but then you have a choice to change the story, rewrite it, and do something else. Welcome to the conversation, Sasha. Thank you for joining. It's good to have you. Yeah, so again, if you're in that position or that place right now where you're dealing with something very challenging, a pain, something that happened years ago that you haven't dealt with yet, or something that's even happening now that you're finding difficult to deal with, just know there is another way. There are solutions, there are strategies and there are tools that you can use to help you, that I can help you with. If it's something that you want me to work with you on, that you want to come and say, hey, you need your help, I need to be my coach, I need to help me to get through this, let me know. We can have a conversation one-on-one. You just inbox me and we'll set up a time to meet and to talk, and I can share my strategies with you, the things that I have learned, that I've developed, that I've used, that I've actually helped other people to use to get over their situation. All right. So now we're going to go to the question and answer session of this call. And again, tonight is meant to be a Q&A session about things that topics I've covered over the last couple of months or a year. I just had a few questions written down of things that people have asked me based on these calls that I'm doing, based on what's happening to them, and they would like to know how they can deal with it or how to get clarity on certain things. If you have any questions, whatever the question may be, feel free to post it in the chat. Feel free to raise your hand and we're going to address it tonight. All right? Don't be afraid to stop me in the middle and ask a question. This is what this call is about. So the first question that I have on this Q&A, for this Q&A tonight is, how do I write a clear vision for my life? So that's the first question. How do I write a clear vision for my life? Okay. No, that's a very good question. And honestly, it's something that we all need to be able to do. Being able to write a clear vision, because without a vision, you have no sense of direction. You really don't have any future because you don't know what your future looks like. You're just gonna, anything happen to you is just gonna happen. And that's not a good place to be in, because if we just allow things to just happen, we know it's not really gonna be something that we want, right? So it's good to write that vision for your life, because then you know where to go, what to do. So one of the things that that I would suggest when you're writing a clear vision, or in order to write a clear vision for your life, the first thing is to be very clear about what you want. Sounds too simple, but it's true. Not many of us spend enough time to really figure out what do we really want out of life. Some of us are on, what's it called? I want to say automatic. You know, where we just go through the motion. We just go through. Day in, day out. We're just going through the motion. Why? Because that's all we know how to do. That's all we've been doing. It fits within our life right now. It's comfortable. It's just best to go through it. But deep down, we know there's more to us than what we're doing. Deep down, we know there's so much more that we can do. You know, we want to live a different type of lifestyle. We want to enjoy life. We want to have fun. We want to go places. We want to do things. But we are just pushing it to the side and we're just being complacent. So be clear about what you want. Sit down, quietness, stillness, no noise, no distraction, no TV, no phone, nothing. Just you, your pen, pencil, a book or a law or a journal or something to write on. And you spend a quiet time with yourself. Internally, begin to evaluate, what do you really want? What is the life that you would really love to live if you could live it right now? What would that look like? Be clear and be very specific. Because the more specific you get, the more you're able to achieve that. But if it's very general or vague, like, oh, I want to live a good life, or oh, I wanna be blessed, or I wanna just be favored, that's too general. What does that look like for you? What does blessed look like for you? What's favored look like? What does it look like? Be specific. For me, I had to be specific about what I wanted. When I was in the life that I was living and I didn't enjoy where I was at that point, I had to come clear about, okay, what do I really want? Whether or not I could achieve it or attain it was not my concern. I just wanted to know, what did I want? And I wrote down what was on my heart, what I really wanted for myself. So be clear and write down, what do you want? Financially, what do you want? Spiritually, what do you want? Emotionally, personally, what do you want? Whatever it is, write it. Then create a vision board. No, it's one thing to write the vision, and it's another thing to create the vision board. So first it starts in your mind, and you start thinking about what that looks like or what you want, and then you write it down. By you taking the time to write down, what you're doing is you're actually putting the whole universe on notice to say, this is what I want. You know, when God was saying, write the vision, make it plain, he didn't say, write the vision based on what you think or based on what's happening or write the vision what you think. He said, write it, make it plain, clear and specific, so that those who see with it can run with it. Who's going to see it? Sometimes you're the only person that sees your vision. But then the person who sees it will run with it. You, when you see your vision written down on paper, your subconscious mind now begins to take note of what you want. And your subconscious mind begin to work to allow you to start running with the vision. If somebody else comes on board and sees it, they too start thinking, how can they help you to achieve the vision? So that's what the power of writing it down is. And then the power of putting it on a vision board is, no, we think in pictures, so we need visual. We write, but then we think in pictures. When we think about things, we see pictures in our head. For me, I want to be a world-renowned speaker, travel the world and speak to millions. I had to see myself on stage speaking or in auditoriums and conferences. I had to see that in my head before I was able to write it down on a piece of paper. Then I created a vision board to match what I was wanting or what I saw. So the vision board now takes it to the next level. The vision board is something that you keep in your forefront of your eyes all the time to remind yourself of what it is that you want. That's the power of the vision board. Now, the second question, do I have any questions on that? Anything anybody wants to add or take away or chime in or ask regarding the vision and vision board before I move to the second question? Anything about writing a clear vision? Anything about creating a vision board or writing a vision, how to do it, how you break it up? Because it's really big, writing a vision. It could be overwhelming if you're not too clear on how to write it. One pointer that I can add to is it's easier to break it up into segments, into parts. So don't try to write a big general vision for every year, for just saying, hey, this and that. Break it up into financially. What do you want your life to look like? Finances. What do you want your finances to look like? What do you want your spiritual life to look like? What do you want your personal life? What do you want? Fitness, health and wellness, money, whatever. Just break it up into those categories. And that way it's easier for you to write a vision now that you have categories, and it's easier for you to take it and deal with it in bite-sized pieces, not a big chunk all at once. All right. So no questions on the vision. I'm going to move on to the next question. So the next question is, how do you find your purpose in life? No, that's a big one. How do you find your purpose in life? Whew. Great question, I might add, because I know most of us had to figure this out at some point or the other. If we know it took a while. If we don't know what our purpose is yet, then it's something we need to know. We were all created for a purpose. Everything in the universe has a purpose. The bees, the birds, the ants, the trees. There's a purpose. Us as human beings seem to be the only species, though, that I realize that has a challenge of finding and living that purpose. I used to not know why. I know why no. But before, it dawned on me one time when I was just running and thinking. I was just thinking about, nature and how nature seems to work in perfect harmony. And it just like a bolt of light just dawned on me, hey, nature knows what its purpose is. The birds, the bees, the trees, everything knows what their purpose is, and they're doing that. Why is it so challenging for us? Why are we the ones trying to figure this thing out for so many years and some of us never do? It kind of puzzled me. So how do you know what your purpose is in life? The first thing I would say is one of the key things to determining what your purpose is to find out where your passion lies. Your passion is directly connected to what your purpose is. So what do I mean by passion? No. I would say, what are you passionate about? What's the one thing that you would love and you get excited at the thought of thinking about waking up every day doing this one thing for the rest of your life? Whether or not they pay you, whether or not they recognize you, whether or not you get a bonus, whether or not you get benefits. What is that one thing that gives you so much joy and passion that you would do it for the rest of your life, no questions asked? If you can answer that question truthfully, therein lies a key to what your passion is. What your purpose is. Whatever you're passionate about is connected to what your purpose is. No, I know that a lot of people may say they have a lot of passions, or may have a lot of likes, or may have a lot of things that they desire to do or love to do. It's fine. You can have a lot of things that you desire to do, but not all of them is a passion. Not all of them is something you would do every single day for the rest of your life, even without getting paid. Not every single one. It's just one thing that most of us would just do, that we love to do. We would just do it day in and day out. That's that one thing. That's where your passion is. That's the key thing. And then once you answer that question, then the next question that I would pose is, who attracts you? What type of people attracts you? Who would you want as a mentor? Now, based on what those answers are, then you would begin to see clearly or clearer on what your passion or what your purpose in life could be. All right. Now, for me, it took me years to figure this out. I didn't figure this out until, I'd say, 2016. I was on my other job, and it was something that I kept asking. I was seeking that out for years. And I tried a number of things thinking that was it. One of these must be it. And it was none of them. And this that just came, and it's after I had a conversation with one of my friends about her passion. And I asked myself the question again. I'm like, and as a matter of fact, I was saying to myself, why is it so easy for some people to figure out their passion and others it takes a longer time? Like some people, to me, I was saying some people's passion are so easy because, you know, they can sing well and they're dancers or actors. And that's easy to figure out because they're doing it. They can do it, so why not? But for others like me, who is not, my purpose is, or my passion is not so tangible or not so clear or not so out in your face, how do I find it? And I found out what mine is. My passion, and it's something I did. I was doing it, and every time I did it, I would get so much joy from it. And I even thought to myself, oh, I love doing this. I want to do it again. I didn't even realize it was giving me a hint on what my purpose was. All right? So that's question number 2. Any questions about finding your purpose and passion, and how to find your purpose in life, or how to start? Any questions on that? I'm going to give you a few seconds to chime in and ask the question if you have any. If not, we're going to move on to the other question. Okay. All right. So the other question is, how do I change my mindset from negative thinking to a positive thinking? So how do I change a negative mindset? Pretty much. How do I change a negative mindset into a positive mindset? No, I'm all about the mind. For those of you who listen to me all the time and follow me on my social media, I'm always posting something about, motivating and uplifting and the mind. I personally believe that the mind is the most powerful tool, weapon that we were given as human beings, our mind. I personally believe that if we can tap into our minds at its fullest capacity, personally, I think we would be able to do so many different things. We could even defy the laws of gravity. That's how powerful your mind is. I believe that. And most of the things that we experience today came from somebody's mind, So just think about that. If we could tap into 50%, 30% of our minds, imagine the wonderful things that we would see. I mean, right now, they're creating a disappearing building. Imagine a building that disappears. Imagine the mind that had to come up with that idea. And then not only come up with it, but to build it or start the process in building that. That's amazing. So the first thing that we have to do to overcome a negative mindset is to first evaluate what our thoughts are. Like most of the times it's our internal chatter, things that we're talking to ourselves about that causes our minds to really be negative. Some of the times our mindset was developed based on our surroundings. Growing up in a certain environment, we learn things that we didn't even know we're learning. We pick up things psychologically, subconsciously in our minds that were fed to us from a young age, and we held on to it. Some things we taught ourselves by watching certain things, listening to certain things, opening up ourselves, our minds to certain things. No, it's something that you have to do intentionally. You have to do it every single day. It's easy for us to think negative. I don't know why, but it just is. It's easy for us to think negative. It's easier to think negative than positive. So you'll find the struggle comes in trying to keep your mind positive. But once you are able to start, you just have to continue. Now, how do you overcome a negative mindset? You first have to take control of your mind. The Bible says, cast down every negative thought and vain imagination that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, against who God is or what God says about you or about situations. Does the things that come in your mind, does it line up with what you are supposed to be or what you're supposed to be doing? Does it line up? Is it something that you know you're supposed to do or what you have? If it doesn't line up, then it needs to go. Take control of your mind. You have the power to choose what thoughts stay. Now, the thoughts may pop up, but you choose what you allow to stay and what you allow to go. It's a choice. The minute the negative thought comes in, you just stop it right and say, oh no, I refuse that. I do not accept that. That is a lie and it will not stay. Literally, it sounds crazy, but I do it. Every time I get a negative thought that I identify as negative, sometimes they slide in. I'm not going to lie. It takes a while to pick it up. But once I do, I cast it out. Once I pick up that negative thought, I say, oh no, where does that come from? And I evaluate it. Is that true? Is that who I am? Is that what I'm about? Is that what I want, what I'm supposed to be? And if it doesn't line up, I say, oh no, I reject that. I don't have to accept it. That's a lie. I refuse to believe that. And I say, I refuse to believe. I say, that's a lie. And I reject it. And that is not my situation. That is not my case. And once I reject the negative thought, I find a positive declaration. Whatever the thought is, I find a positive declaration that goes in opposition to the thought. So one of the things that I struggled with in my mindset was the feeling of I used to compare some kind of inferiority with like professionals like doctors or attorneys, or I don't know why, but for some reason I used to think, oh, because I don't have that degree, I can't talk to them. I don't know why, but it was something that I dealt with for a while. And I'm like, even though I know my stuff, I have the information, I have the tools to help them. As their coach, I can help them, but I'm like, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they have a degree higher than mine. And I had to say, wait a minute. They have a degree just like me. They're just in a job just like me. They're just in a different profession just like me. They don't know it all. They don't know it all. They may be doctors, but they don't know it all. They're lawyers. They don't know it all. So if they don't know it all, I don't know it all. Why can't I talk to them or coach them? If they have a need that I can solve, why can't I coach them? And I had to think about it. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the one telling myself that I'm the one saying I am this. Then I had to say, oh no, I'm more than enough. I am smart enough. I am intelligent enough. I have what it takes and I have what they need. So I had to change that negative thinking to a positive one by the words that come out of my mouth. I had to turn it around. That's what you do. You address the negative thought, you cast it down, and you find positive declarations to turn it around. And this is something you have to spend. I do it every single day. I spend at least 1 hour in motivation. Motivation, either a motivational video, reading a motivational book, something to keep my mind on the positive things, on the good, clean things. That's what I feed my mind every day, non-stop for the last 6 years. I've been doing it every single day. At least 1 hour motivational stuff. YouTube, book, whatever. I put in a cassette tape, will go on iTunes, whatever, download. I just make sure I get it done because it's a part of my mind maintenance on a daily basis. So your mind is something you have to maintain daily. You have to keep it fed daily. If you don't feed it, something else is going to feed it. Someone else is going to feed it. the news, whatever it is, but it's going to be fed. So you better choose to feed your mind. And that's how you pretty much you turn a negative mindset into a positive one. All right? Any questions on that? One of the things that I do too, I do daily affirmations. Aside from waiting for the thought to come up, I actually have daily affirmations that I wrote down. Some of them I have in my head that I say every day in the mirror. I look at myself in the mirror and I say affirmations to myself every day about who I am, what I'm doing, what I want, where I'm going. I affirm myself. Daily affirmations. They're very powerful, they're very positive, and they're very beneficial to keeping your mind on the positive things. All right? So that was question 3. Any questions on that? If not, we're going to move on to question 4. I have 7 questions, so not too much. Question 4 says, when do you create a vision board? So this goes back to the vision board question. When do you create a vision board? So initially we asked, how do I write a vision? Then writing a vision board. Now, when do you create the vision board? Right after you write the vision down. Short, simple, and sweet. You create the board right after you've written down in words what your vision is. And you get a board and you create that board based on what you wrote down. I like pictures a lot, so I cut out a lot of pictures and magazines, and I draw and I get glitter and I decorate my board. I can give you an example of my board. Actually, where is it? It's right there. Can I show it to you? Let me go get my board. I'm going to get up from my desk and go get my board. Because I'm going to want you to see what my board looks like. Yes. So, here's a sneak peek of what my board looks like. Let me take this thing out so you can see. See the vision board up top. These are the pictures I have written of the vision board. You see that? Okay, so that's what my vision board looks like. You can have multiple boards if you choose to. You can have one. I chose one. I think I'm going to have multiple ones though, but for now I have one. So right after you create the vision, right, do the board. All right, question number 5 says, let's see. How do you stay focused on your dreams or goals? How do you stay focused on your dreams or goals? It's really challenging to stay focused today because there's so much distraction, especially with the internet and social media, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Skype, WhatsApp, IMO, you name it. There's a million and one. So one of the things that I recommend in terms of helping you to stay focused is really be sure about what you want. Because, and let me say why I say be sure. If you're sure about what you want out of life, then to stay focused on it is easier. And let me explain that. When I realized what I really wanted to do with my life, which is to be a speaker and travel and speak, it was easy for me to focus on that because now I knew what I wanted. So when something came that I didn't want or that I wasn't trying to do, I could say no easy, quickly, moving on. There was no confusion about what should I be doing with my time anymore because now I know what I wanted to do. So the first thing is to be sure about what you want. When you're sure about what you want, it's easier for you to stay focused. After you're sure about what you want, then one of the ways to stay focused is to write goals or to write action steps down. So when you're staying in action to achieve that goal or dream, you're being focused. If you don't have an action plan, you're not going to really, have much focus because anything happens will take you out of sync or will take you to the left. You're going to get distracted quickly. So being sure about what you want is 1. 2 is write down action steps or write down like what you need to do to get you to your goal. Actions. What do I need to do? Day 1, write this down. Day 2, call this person. Day 3, write a book. Day 4, whatever it is, just write it. And make sure that when you're writing these action steps, there are things that you really commit to doing. You have to be serious about it, and you have to commit to doing it. Because if not, you're just going to write for no reason. You're going to write in vain, and you're not going to do anything, and you're not going to be focused. So now that I am very clear about what I want, I'm very focused on it. So it's easier for me to know what to go with and what not to go with. All right? Any questions on that one? How do you stay focused? One thing is good too, guys. Get into a group. Get a mentor or a coach. If you don't have a mentor or coach that will help you, you're going to need one. Everybody has one. Everybody has one. Oprah have one. I have one. My coach have a coach. The athletes, superstars, everybody has one. And that's because we need coaches and mentors to help us to get to that place that we're trying to get to. We can't do it by ourselves because we need somebody to push us, to motivate us, to keep us going, to keep us there. And the mentors and the coach help you stay focused. Get in a group. Get in a group of like-minded people. Get a mastermind going. And a mastermind is a group of like-minded people who have a specific or particular goal set that you're trying to achieve, and you're going to keep each other accountable to achieving that goal. Somebody who is serious like you. Get in a group or get a coach. You need outside help to help you on these things. You can't do it by yourself. Believe me, I tried, didn't work. I have a coach. All right? If you want me to be your coach, let me know after this conversation and we can talk about that some more. All right. So I wrote something down, and it says, making the right decision is one of the habits of the highly successful, and it's their ability to make decisions quickly and change their mind slowly. So this is something that I got from I don't know if you know him, but Napoleon Hill. He wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, one of the most successful books aside from the Bible is Think and Grow Rich. Every person you know or can think of that is within the 1% in America, which are the wealthy, they have read that book. They have read that book and they have reread that book. Believe it. Speakers, coaches, you name it that you know that are successful, they've read that book. So that shows you how powerful that book is. And he was saying that because if you know how the book is written, he spent all of his life interviewing the wealthiest people in America. The Carnegies and the Rockefellers and all those old money people, old money. And these are the things he put in the book. What did they do on a daily basis? How did they get to where they were financially in life? And he noted that they were able to make their decisions quicker and change their minds slower. So if you are able to make your decisions quicker and change your mind slower, then you are in a better place or a better state to achieve that goal that you set to do. And a coach can help you to do that. Making decisions is a habit that you have to develop. It doesn't come naturally. We make decisions, yes, but are they the best ones? And are they the ones that we should be making? And do we make them quickly enough to keep going? Ask that question. If not, then get a coach, get a mentor, and they'll help you to stay on track. Question number 6. So we're winding down. We only have 2 more questions. So question number 6 says, any questions on that before I move to the other questions? Remember, this is question and answer. So any questions you may have about anything I've said or anything you can think of, post it in the chat and I will definitely answer it. So question 6 says, I lack motivation. What can I do to become motivated? Ooh, I lack motivation. What can I do to become motivated? And that's a very good one, because motivation is something that we all need, but it doesn't stay. It's great when we have it. It helps us to get momentum. It helps us to keep going. It helps us to do the things that we need to do. When we need to do them, it feels good. But then it all goes away after a while, right? It doesn't stay. Excuse me. So how can I become motivated and stay motivated, really? And the first thing is, it's something that you have to work on. It's not permanent. Some of us, we can stay motivated longer because of what we allow ourselves to do on a daily basis. For me, I stay motivated longer than most people because I spend most of my time, free time, listening to motivational videos or watching them or reading the books. And so I keep myself in a constant state almost all the time. So it's easy for me to be motivated. For others who don't do that, it's going to be more challenging. So I'm going to say the first thing to do is to do a self-check. Why are you not motivated? What's stopping you from being motivated? And most of the times we know, we just haven't taken the time to figure out yet. Why are you not motivated? That's the question. First thing, do a self-check. Ask the question, why are you not motivated? And then wait for the answer. Believe me, you know it. Second thing that I'm going to say is, welcome to the conversation, Claudette. Good to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. After you do a self-check and figure out why you're not motivated, what is stopping you from being motivated, then the second thing is get outside help. I'm not saying get outside help. In order to stay in a constant state of motivation, you need, like for me, just told you, I listen to motivational videos, I watch, I read the books, I stay in that state. I'm getting outside help out of myself. I'm getting a push from some other source. You need to get outside help. You need to get a push to stay motivated, whether it be in the form of going to a seminar, whether it be in the form of reading a book, whether it be in the form of getting a coach or a mentor, whether it be in the form of watching a motivational video, whether it be in the form of just having somebody come up and say, hey, you can do it. You need outside help to keep you motivated. It just happens. There's no control. We have nothing to do about staying motivated all the time. None of us are motivated all the time. Not even me. I have to get outside help to help me to stay motivated. And you're going to need outside help too. So remember, motivation is not something permanent. It feels good. It comes and goes. But in order for you to stay motivated, you have to first figure out why you're not motivated. Or what are you not doing that you should be doing? Or what are you doing that you shouldn't be doing and doing something else? And then get outside help. Get somebody to help motivate you. You need a push, you need a coach, you need a mentor. Get that. All right. And the last question is question 7. Do I have any questions on this conversation before I move on to the final question of the night? So question and answer session is about getting ready to wrap up in just a few minutes. But I wanted to ask, for my listeners out there, I wanted to acknowledge you, taking the time to be on this conversation with me. I value your time and I value you. You could have done anything else, but you're here and I appreciate that. So I wanted to make sure that you're being served to the fullest capacity. Is there any question that you have that you have not asked that you want to ask? Or anything that you weren't clear on, that you need clarity on, that I can help you with right now on this conversation before we disconnect, before I get into the last and final question? Any questions on that? Whether it be about purpose, vision board, dealing with pain, overcoming rejection, whatever it is, what you're dealing with, just let me know and I can definitely assist. I'm going to give a few minutes, so you can bring the question up and ask if you so choose to. If not, it's okay. We're going to keep moving and going to the next question. But I just wanted to make sure that I gave you an opportunity to ask your question before we disconnect tonight. If you're thinking about a question and you need some more time, give me a wave in the down in the box, so I know that's you, or do I know I need to wait some more? I know that you're thinking or writing or putting it together. If that's you, let me know. If no waves and nothing, then I'm going to assume everybody's good. Nobody has any questions, and move on to question number 7, which is our final question for the night. Okay. So, question number 7 is the final question. And this question actually I wrote. And I wrote it because it's a question that was asked to me when I went to go speak at middle school last fall. And I was talking about, the kids and their purpose and how to find their purpose and how to really focus on what they want. And, they asked me quite a few questions, and some of them were funny. I'm not gonna lie, we had a good time. But one of the questions that really stuck out to me was one of the girls asked me, when did you realize, or when did you find out what your purpose was? When was that point? Like, when? And I know I touched on that a little bit on the call, but not too much. But she wanted to know, like, what year or what time. And for many of them, they were thinking that, oh, I knew what my purpose was from a young age, and I was doing this all my life. And, but honestly, to be honest, I found out what my purpose was in 2016. So 16, 17, 18, 3 years ago, I found out what my purpose was. Before then, I was doing things, I was working, in business, and I was doing things, but it wasn't my purpose. And I really didn't know what it was until 2016. And that's when I really found out what my purpose was in life. And I can tell you, ever since I found that out, ever since I knew what I was called to do and what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, it brings a sense of relief, honestly, because now I know, like, okay, I won't waste any more time doing the things that I shouldn't be doing. Because anything else that we do that is not in line with our purpose is wasting time. And none of us have time to waste. Time is something we cannot control or change or get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. And even though the things that I dealt with, the business that I went into, wasn't a waste of time, because each and every single one helped me to grow, helped me to learn something, introduced me to personal growth and development in the first place. But they weren't my purpose. They weren't things that I would do for the rest of my life, hands down, no questions asked, even without getting paid. They weren't it. So 2016 was when I really discovered my purpose. And I'm here to tell somebody on the conversation, if you don't know what your purpose is, it's important that you do. I would challenge you to find it. Take the time to really ask yourself the question, why am I here? Why was I created? Why was I born? What purpose am I here to serve? Because we're all here for a specific and unique purpose. Every single one. No purpose is alike. No purpose is the same. Nobody can take your purpose. Nobody can stop your purpose but you. It's important that we take the time to figure that out, because only when we live our life on purpose can we really, 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 really enjoy, joy and peace and happiness, knowing that you're doing what you're called to do. That's the only time. I'm here to invite somebody on the call, on the conversation. If that is you, if you need help, I am here to help you. If you want to continue this conversation off air, you can inbox me one-on-one. We can discuss how we can get into that, or you can work with me some more to finding your purpose. If you need motivation, how you can work with me to be motivated, to stay motivated, to be focused. If you want to work with me and getting a clear vision, I am here. I can be your coach. If not me, somebody else, but choose someone, and choose today to start figuring out or finding what your purpose is. So that the next time we have a conversation, whether I see you in person or see you on Facebook, you can tell me, you know what? I took the time to find out my purpose and I know what it is. And I'm living it. And I'm taking the steps to getting there. And it feels so good. I want to have that conversation with somebody. I want to have it with you. So thank you so much for joining me on this call. Thank you so much for being here with me. I do again appreciate and value you. It was a pleasure always serving, sharing, helping. However I can help, I'm willing to do it. If you need any information off air, I can definitely provide it to you. Any resource you may need off air, I can definitely provide it to you. No questions asked, no obligation. Just let me know and I can give it to you freely if you want. No problems. Again, this call or this conversation normally happens on Wednesday nights, but because last night I had a problem logging into my Facebook account because they were working on it, I couldn't get in. I had moved the call to Thursday night. So normally it's a Wednesday night that we have this conversation, and Facebook Live 9 p.m. and each Wednesday I talk about a different topic. And I try to bring something fresh, something real, something new and improve every single Wednesday. If you have any ideas that you want me to discuss, just send me a quick message off air and I can definitely take care of it on the following Wednesday call. But thank you tonight for joining me. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful and blessed night. See you same time Wednesday next week. Bye.